Hello nieces and nephews, it is I, Bad on BB here today. For those that are new to my channel, one of the big topics here is my health and wellness journey. And part of my health and wellness journey is as an autoimmune warrior. My niche specifically is on the autoimmune system because despite having psoriatic arthritis, fibromyalgia, IBS-C, I am able to live in 100% not only prescription-free life, but as of now, a symptom-free life. And that's directly what this video is going to be about. The steps to hack your immunity and improve your immune system in life. And more specifically, I'm giving it to you from a real autoimmune warrior's perspective. Somebody who has literally changed a lot of their mind, body, and soul to achieve the 100% symptom and prescription-free lifestyle that I have now. So what I'm going to show you now is the steps that I took to boost my immunity that you can be doing as well. So stay tuned. Let's talk about my approach to health and wellness. First and foremost, I am somebody who is a believer in a higher power, if you will. So my approach when I say holistic is not HOLISTIC, but WHOLE-istic, okay? I have a whole approach. I like to think of things as a holy trinity, if you will. And that trinity to me, in terms of my journey here on earth right now, is mind, body, and soul. Those are the trinities that are making up this humanly experience that I'm going through. And that's exactly what approach I took to reversing my symptoms. So I want to break that down in 3 parts: soul, the mind, and the body, of how I changed my lifestyle and thus my life. Starting with the soul. This might be a hard concept to grasp for people who do not believe in an afterlife or a higher power, if you will, but stay with me because there still might be some tips that you might take out of this. But you need to understand that that's part of my theory, just like there are other theories that you can take and approaches that you can take in this worldly path we have to live until we die. But you need to understand that while you're watching this video, this is my approach to health. Whether you believe in what I believe in or not, I have to put that disclaimer out there that this is my approach and my philosophy to health, and that's that. The soul is that part of us that's going to live on when we leave our bodies, but it's also the part of us that connects us to the universe, the entire existence of people who were created and things that were created and living things and inanimate objects that were created by the source, the higher power, in my case, Lord Jesus, okay? Now, that soul, it's what evokes the belief system. And I do believe that it directly correlates with the mind. In fact, a guy who is really an amazing vegan, he is like practically a doctor when he's talking about nutrition. This guy, I'll leave some information from a book that I read from him, but he's one of the few people I know that talk about this connection between the soul and the mind and the body. And people don't think about all of these things that make us human that link together and ultimately link it to our health. So if you have those 3 things together, you will have a healthy life. The reason why the belief system is the first thing I'm going to put into increasing your immunity is because if you do not believe it is possible, in earthly terms, it's not. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. If you believe that what you're going through cannot be fixed, it cannot be cured, there's not a medicine for it, there's not a God for it, there's not a manifestation for it, there's not a diet for it, there's not an exercise for it, you have no reason to be watching this video. And you're right. Might be a little too blunt for you, but I'm bad on BB. I just tell them what their mama never told them. That's what I believe. If you don't believe that what you're going through can be reversed, then it can't be. But when you're people like myself, when you believe the power of life and death is in the tongue, when you believe that the same God that gave you breath in your body and spoke things into the world and thus transfer power and energy into you to speak things into the world. The law of attraction, the law of manifestations, affirmations, spells, incantations. There's a bunch of things for what they say comes out of our mouth and how it can develop into being true. So if you believe in the words that someone tells you and that can't be fixed, that can't be healed, you'll never do this again, and you truly believe that and you take no steps in reversing that, then that's exactly what's going to happen in your life. You will manifest that in your life. I believe it will be manifested in your life. In the book that I use ritually to feel a higher power with my source, it is written. If you are speaking negative things in your life, or you are receiving negative things being spoken to your life about your body and your state of health, and you are receiving that to be true, instead of receiving the word directly from the source or getting closer to the source in order for you to more directly hear his words and convey that into your life, then that is what will be true. And in my case, how I reverse my symptoms is by not believing any damn thing that I saw on television or that the doctors might have said about my condition. But most people just truly believed that this was incurable because the doctor said it was incurable. But I serve a God that says I can do all things through Christ crucified and through the word of God. And I believe that as a child of Abraham, if you will, that I too have those same rights. So if I speak more positively into my life and I speak reversal into my life, that's what my body will follow. So that is my spiritual and my belief system part of it. I do believe that it is very important to have a relationship with your creator, with your provider, the source of energy that you have, because that spiritual belief system is going to get you through most of what you're going through physically and mentally, but it's the first and most important part of the health journey before we go on to the mind. Now, I believe that the soul and the body are on complete opposites of the spectrum, but the mind is what connects the soul to the body. And I will explain that from an excerpt that I read in one of these books here. Here in the book, Zen and the Art of Happiness by Chris Prentice. Chris Prentice is a guy whose son was a drug addict. By creating a different belief system for these addicts, they were able to resist the temptation of what they were going through. And he says here, every 2 months you have an entirely new blood supply. Given what we know now about peptides, receptors, and the role of emotions and thoughts, you can see the chain of events that take place as new cells are created according to what you think and feel. If you feel depressed for an hour, you've produced approximately 18 billion new cells that have more receptors calling out for depressed type peptides and fewer calling out for feel-good peptides. It's as if trillions and trillions of receptors are cupping their little hands around their mouths like tiny megaphones or shouting, "Send us more depression." In short, thinking gloomy thoughts creates a body that is more able to feel gloominess than joyfulness. It also creates the need for more gloomy thoughts, and you become addicted to gloominess. Are you addicted to having a disease? Are you mentally, spiritually addicted to being committed to having a weak immune system? This is the first question that people with weak immune systems need to ask themselves. Are you stepping into victim? Are you going to classify yourself as somebody who has this autoimmune disease or this weakness or this disability? Because my life standpoint is, it's not a disability if I don't allow myself to be disabled. And disabled is much more than physical. If you're constantly reproducing cells in your body and speaking disease in your body is receiving and creating more cells that are able to receive this disease and less that is going to receive your healing. Knowing what I said about the belief system and the soul and how important that is into the holistic approach of improving your health, understand that you need to be speaking health and healing in your life, not disease. You need to wake up every day, if that's an affirmation, if that is a motivational video, if that is a a pastor's sermon, whatever it is you need to do. If it's a horoscope, I don't care. You need to wake up every day and speak healing into your life. Get closer to your source and understand once your soul and your mind are directly connected.
And here, if you say, I'd like to go to Paris this year, but I can't afford, you just told 75 trillion cells to see to you don't get to Paris.
You're going to need to absorb more healing in your life. It's not just dietary. I know people, they see me talk about vitamins all the time. They probably think I was just going to give you diet and exercise. And no, baby. See, healing, it's a holistic journey. You need to prepare your mind to have a better immune system by affirming health and the strength, a stronger immune system in your life daily, regularly, routinely. If you are serious about boosting your immune system, you have to be able to say, no, I'm not going to get this sickness, and believe it, so that your cells can receive what you're saying and create more of it. See, the soul-mind connection is deep. Now let's talk about this though. And this is something only an autoimmune warrior can give you personally. Nobody knows, unless they've gone through weakened immune system problems, how much of a toll it can take on your mind. I was ironically at my worst in my job, with my family. I had a lot of stress. I was so stressed out at the time. I had the worst symptoms. So for me with psoriatic arthritis, this was a lot of swelling in my joints, specifically my knees. There were times I would be at work with ice packs on my knees. I kind of had carpal tunnel. I didn't realize I had fibromyalgia at the time, but I was getting really fatigued, backed up all the time, very achy body parts, like I was going through the most. My mind wasn't prepared. And this is why you need a psychotherapist. This is literally step one, get your soul right, get closer to the source, start speaking life. That's gonna link the soul to the mind. Let's get to this worldly stuff that's gonna help you with the mind. And that's a psychotherapist. There's no other doctor that can replace this psychotherapist. And I know some people have a real hang up about therapy. They don't like some imperfect person speaking about their life. There's all kind of negative perceptions about therapy. But let me tell you one damn thing. If there's anything I don't regret, it's a therapist. A psychotherapist is a trained professional who is taught to help you cope with your stress and unravel your traumas. And the reason why this is so important to autoimmune patients and people with weakened immune systems is because, whether you know it or not, traumas store energy inside of parts of your body. And if you are going through the motions of life over time, those things will manifest into disease. News flash, if you think I'm just talking heebie-jeebies, there is a direct extreme correlation to childhood trauma and autoimmune disease, which to me, as a Black American woman, does not make it ironic that majority of people with autoimmune disease are women, and African American women are 2 to 3 times more likely to have it than anybody else. The therapist is the mental doctor that's going to be able to help you with mentally healing yourself. So in my case, the therapist was able to teach me things that linked my mind to my body, such as breathing exercises and meditations that will help me to maneuver with the stress and anxiety and shift some of that energy that would aid me in dealing with life. So in addition to addressing what was currently going on in my life at the surface level, which is probably the first thing your therapist is going to do if you first meet one, it's going to be straight up after that uncovering any other underlying issues that are bothering you to where your stress is manifesting in your body at this point. Because there is a direct correlation, like I said, to trauma, specifically PTSD, highly childhood trauma, and autoimmune disease. And I'm going to put the disclaimer out there because I have to I am not a doctor. I am not claiming anything that I say or any products that I mention in this video will cure, prevent, or mitigate any disease. So we have talked about at this point the spirit, how speaking words and speaking life like affirmations is what links the spirit to the mind, how having a doctor for our mind like a therapist is going to link to healing the body. We can talk about the stuff that you thought I was going to talk about first. The body aspect of healing our bodies, reversing symptoms, and boosting our immune system. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be surprising to you guys, and that is sleep. A lot of people who have autoimmune or suffer from any type of chronic pain, fibromyalgia, psoriatic arthritis, sometimes I would be in so much pain I could not sleep. It would be very hard to go to sleep. Or at worst case scenarios, I would be hurting so bad I would wake up from my sleep, and none of those things are pleasant. All of those things are disruptive to the sleep patterns, and in those cases you might have to take some type of drug to aid in your pain. It doesn't have to be a prescription. For me, I just kept it ibuprofen, Aleve, and I would do things to aid and soothe myself, like ice my knees, weighted blankets. I've heard those are really good, but you want to do whatever's going to help you go to sleep. And the reason why is sleep is so important to your immune system. Sleep is what allows your body to repair itself to become the great thing it needs to be every day you get out of bed. You need to understand that you can go a couple days without water, and you can go, I think, over a week or two without food. You cannot go a day without sleep, and that's why that's the first thing I'm talking about here. A full night's rest is different for everybody. Figuring out the days I would be most likely to get symptoms, it's usually days that I got less than 5 hours of sleep. For me, typically 6.5, 7 hours is perfect, but anything under that is when I would notice that my body I might have some more unpleasant body sensations. The next thing I want to talk about is your diet. If you have an autoimmune disease, you have a leaky gut. All disease starts from the gut. If your gut cannot properly digest the things that it needs to, or break down things that it needs to, it will destroy your entire body. The things that you are taking in, if it is going to disrupt your colon in any way, then it is going to give you a disease. It's just a ticking time bomb. And a lot of people suffer from leaky gut, which is a condition where your gut is so filled with toxins that the toxins eventually permeate outside of the body, and this is what creates a lot of disease. So by eliminating toxins and eliminating bad foods that have toxins in them from your body, you are severely increasing your chances of reversing your illness. For autoimmune people, that means you want to lower anything that's inflammatory to your body. Some things that are known to be inflammatory have been number 1, dairy, number 2, gluten, number 3, carcinogens, and 4, alcohols, drugs. Those things can toxify the body and allow your body to create more mucus. Let's focus more on like dairy and gluten. White bread per se, those processed grains, it takes a month to process like that cheap white bread, the Wonder Bread, you know what I'm talking about, in your gut. If it's just sitting there, if your body is trying to fight off a virus, it's not going to have as many cells as it needs to fight off a virus if it's processing the food in your body. And if you have a regular American diet, you know we're eating too much any darn way. So there's a whole lot of stuff your body has to process in order to even get to the point where it can focus on your immune system. So by detoxing your body from things that are inflammatory foods, maybe switching to a certain blood type diet that fits you, or like I do, an anti-inflammatory diet where I don't eat any dairy and I avoid processed grains, and most importantly, remove sugars, omit as much sugar as you can from your life, you are extremely increasing your ability to fight off immune disease. Aside from altering your diet, you want to get serious about your supplements and your vitamins. People with autoimmune disease and lower immune systems, vitamin D is the biggest thing to fighting off immune systems. My doctor has definitely helped me a lot. And she told me, she does a lot of tests on me. And when we were testing to figure out what was going on with my body at the time I was discovering my autoimmune issues, she prescribed me to take a high dose of vitamin D. So I don't play about vitamin D in my life, and I do, even if you don't have any autoimmune diseases watching this, it's pretty important that you take a regular amount of vitamin D. You really need to start taking your supplement game and your vitamin game seriously. I love to take liquid vitamins like Nutriburst because that liquid vitamin is very, very potent, and it has a higher absorption rate into your body than capsule pills. So you'll get more of the vitamin into your bloodstream. I like to take liquid vitamins, and I like to take green supplements. I like to take supplements that I know boost the immune system, like reishi mushroom. I'm not here to specifically talk about supplements today, but I do take echinacea tea, which boosts the immune system. I do take complex immunity supplements to boost my immune system. Like, start taking supplements and taking that seriously. Speaking of supplements, since we got to this point, I have to mention CBD. I started experimenting with herbal teas and CBDs way longer than before I started really getting into Total Life Changes supplements and products. I do believe that incorporating CBD wouldn't hurt people because our body already produces CBD, and CBD is going to increase the amount of receptors that allow your body to heal itself. I really incorporate a lot of CBD supplements into my life, from my skin supplements to drinks, beverages, tea, and even CBD drops to help me sleep or aid me with pain. So I would say get serious about supplements, and definitely get serious about CBD, because these do have a lot of research on them that proves that they do have the ability to help aid people with a variety of health and wellness issues in a holistic way. And last but not least, at the bottom of the body, we have to talk about exercise. Exercise directly correlates to the mind in the aspect that when you are increasing the amount of endorphins in your body, you are lowering the depression hormones in your body, which depression and stress is directly against your body's healing. So anybody at any level of pain needs to try to do exercise. Now, I know this is the cat calling the kettle black for some of my people out there with psoriatic arthritis so bad that they're on disability right now. There are going to be exercises that you cannot do. There are going to be times where my people with fibromyalgia, which was my biggest problem. If you have fibromyalgia, you have a lower metabolism. So it's like, it's the sluggishness for me. Like, it's very, very tiring to even try to exercise. And I get it, but you're going to have to try. You're going to have to put mind over matter, and you're going to have to find things that you can do. This is a woman you're looking at right now who had her knees so swollen at the age of 27, I could not do squats. This is why I get so excited when you see me on social media and I'm doing my booty band exercises and doing fitness challenges now, because believe it or not, this was a thing that I couldn't even imagine doing just a year ago, because my knees would be so swollen, it would hurt so bad to squat. It's at the point, if I go down there once, I'm thinking of what else I can do while I'm here, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back down again. And it was hard, but if you're somebody with fibromyalgia or you're having depression and anxiety, exercise is going to help you in so many ways. And if you have an arthritis that's related to autoimmune disease specifically, motion is lotion. If you need to take energy supplements, this is why I love NRG, okay? If you need to take energy supplements to increase your energy level, or you need to take pre-workouts to increase your energy level to get you to maximize workout, hell, you don't even need a pre-workout. Have a cup of black coffee like some of the big weight gurus do before you do a little exercise. It's going to give you a little bit of energy boost. But you're going to need to find out how you can get your body moving some type of way throughout the day. literally. Guys, you will not get better by standing still. You will not get more energy. You literally need to activate your body into moving more so that it can heal itself. Start with a walk down the street if you can. If you're confined to a chair, do sit and be fit type of exercises. But you cannot stay in the bed all day and expect to heal. Exercising is a must in the holistic approach of healing your body without a prescription. Everything that I spoke about in this video, I did together. There is no one without the other. I have to take care of my mind, my body, and my soul all at once in order to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape. When I say I'm an advocate for total life changes, I mean totally. I don't mean partially. I don't mean just the body part. Thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns you need to understand, there's no community without the you and the I. So you better leave those comments below. And if you have a question that you want to ask that you don't want to leave in the comments, hit me up on social media. I'm very available to you guys. If you need to know about any supplements in specific, exercises in specific, or want to know a little bit more of how I know so much about what I know so much, I'll leave a couple of article links, information for Dr. Gundy's videos, and maybe I'll even do a video later on some of the health books I read that might help you guys. But just stay in touch with your girl. I'm so happy that you made it this far to my video, and I really hope to see from you soon. I really hope to hear from you soon. Until next time, it's your girl Bad on BB, over and out.